Virtual worlds are going to be a major disruptive element for the mainstream of society. So the idea that you might interact with other people in a way that actually is a bit like being face-to-face with them, doing whatever you're going to do, and I have some ideas about that, but you could be anywhere in the world. In fact, each person in interaction could be at a different location, but because your avatars would be in a shared simulation, a virtual world, it would feel like being in a room full of people. There are a lot of possibilities for organizing work differently and for collaborating differently if people can connect directly with one another regardless of where they happen to be physically. And so wouldn't it be amazing if you could meet with people without having to actually go there? And by meet, I mean get a sense of what it's like to be sitting 2 or 3 feet away from someone and see their facial expression and their body language and hear their tone of voice. So it's actually like being there. And I think that's the next chapter of virtual worlds and some other technologies that will support it, like 3D cameras, that will begin to become possible. One thing we need is a simple way to create an avatar that's you, that looks like you and that acts like you when you want it to do that. Now, that's not for fantasy role play, but if you want to have a business meeting, that's what you'd like to have. And so we need more image recognition, cameras that can see things in 3 dimensions, not just in 2. Microsoft is just buying one of the companies that's pioneered that, so that you can automatically, without having to have a professional artist or be skilled at it, create a 3-dimensional representation of you. So that's one of the technologies we need. And we basically need to repackage a lot of the existing capabilities in a form suitable for business, by which I mean businesses like to run servers behind their own firewalls for security reasons, and that hasn't been done with virtual worlds yet, but it's in the process of being done. So things like that. It's actually not all that glamorous or exotic. It's mostly blocking and tackling. How do you make virtual worlds corporate ready? It's actually a combination of innovation and execution. I do think there are a few bold ideas that people have to try and get right, and then there'll be a lot of execution. But if you look at a platform like Second Life or open source platforms like OpenSim, there's a huge amount of innovation in them that needs to be reapplied to the enterprise. And so there's creativity involved in that, but it's not original R&D. It's taking something that was done for one market and set of use cases and reworking it. Imagine you wanted to have a meeting with 30 people in it, and each of the 30 people was in a different location. You literally can't do that on video conferencing, but it's easy to do in a virtual world because each person has their avatar, and that avatar is projected into a common kind of scene. When people interact socially at meetings, one of the things that happens is an alternation in rhythm between the time when everybody is sitting around the table together and then when there's a break and people go off in little groups of 2 and 3 and talk. Well, does that happen in video conferencing? No, of course not. You can't even imagine it. Happens all the time in virtual worlds because you get up, your avatar gets up, you walk over with some other avatar over to the corner and you have a little chat. It completely leverages everything we know about working in real 3D. So you could have a trade show, you could have conferences, you could have breakout sessions, you could have one-on-one chats, you could have large groups, and you can have fluid interchange between all of those. That already all happens. It's been happening for years with early adopters.